Peace, y'all, and welcome to another tea time. You already know the vibes, divine destiny. I'm sipping my coffee. What are you sipping on? Grab your water, grab your tea, grab your coffee, grab your vibe, grab your little blanket, okay? Whatever it is you need to vibe with me through this conversation. Today we're discussing mirrors, okay? You know, in the spiritual community, you hear people say a lot, like, or refer to people as reflections and mirrors. But what does that really mean? So me and Spirit, we was talking about it, we was meditating on it, and we're gonna dive into it today. Okay? Get come. So the biggest thing, I guess the main thing that Spirit put on my heart to discuss today in relation to mirrors is recognizing that when you find yourself attached to a person, or you can't detach from a person, right? It has literally nothing to do with that person and everything to do with what they're reflecting back to you. Whether they're reflecting how, like, good things within you, like they bring out, you know, how you hang out with somebody, you know, that they just bring out like such a fun side of me, they bring out the good aspects of me, right? That your appreciation for that person is a reflection of the appreciation of the parts of yourself, those good aspects, right? The fun aspects, whatever it is that they bring out. And that's why you like to be around that person or that reflection, that mirror, because they reflect back to you the good parts of yourself. And you enjoy living and feeling and breathing and existing in that energy. So you would enjoy that person. And that's how we begin to form attachments with people, right? Alternatively, on the other side of it, you can find yourself not wanting to detach from someone that you need to detach from because of the shadow aspects of yourself that they reflect, right? And it's not, obviously not like you're admiring the shadow aspects of yourself. However, the shadow aspects of yourself are being reflected from that person, whether that person is triggering shadow aspects within you or just I guess if you're responding from a shadow aspect place, then that person would be triggering shadow aspects within you, right? They could just pull out, like everybody pulls out a different side of you, right? They can pull out the lower vibrational parts, right? The shadow aspects of you. And a lot of us are comfortable in our shadow aspects, right? A lot of us are comfortable in those lower vibrational reactions and responses. So we are attached to these people because we are allowed to be in our comfort zone around these people, right? So we could look at it as, you know, how sometimes on the alternative side, when people pull out the good in you, sometimes people who are too comfortable in their own shadow aspects, those reflections that pull out the good in them, people run from, or people pull away from those reflections or those people that reflect the better, brighter side of them because they're not comfortable with it. And then again, that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with that person and their reflection, right? What it is that they're seeing or not seeing within themselves when they look at you, when they hang out with you, when they talk to you, right? What is it that you reflect that shows them what is missing or not within them, right? Shows them what is missing or illuminated within them. Because that's what every relationship, that's the seed and the basis of every relationship in our life. We connect with these people, family, friends, co-workers alike, okay? We connect with people based off of our own internal shadow and light battles, right? We connect with people based off of how they make us feel. So these could be trauma bonds, the shadow aspects, right? And it's hard to pull away from those because you're in the comfort of the cycle. And we've talked about this on previous tea time, so this is not a new conversation, right? You were so locked into that cycle of that shadow aspect. You're so comfortable in that discomfort, but it's the familiar, so that's what you stay with. So it's hard to detach from even people that you know you should detach from because your ego, right? We've talked about this on previous tea times, not a new conversation. So like really coming from the definition of your ego is that part of your being that is here to keep you safe. And generally it keeps you in a comfort zone. It keeps you in a box of familiarity because that is the safety. It knows that this familiar box is safe. It is the devil that your ego knows, right? So even when your higher self, your consciousness, your spirit guides, whatever it is, the universe that you subscribe to, whatever it is that's calling you to step out of that comfort, familiar box that your ego is trying to keep you trapped in. When you're being called to step out of those cycles, your ego is holding on to those shadow aspects so effing hard, you guys, because where it's uncomfortable with the change, it's uncomfortable with the shift, with the unknown of what could happen on the other side of releasing this thing. Even though this thing is not necessarily the best for me, I know that it's okay enough and I'm gonna be safe here, even though you might want better. And better is a little uncomfortable for your ego because your ego is, like I said, trying to keep you quote unquote safe. Right? So with that being said, when you choose to step out of that box and that ego is attaching, that looks like your ego attaching to the people that reflect shadow aspects of you, right? That looks like your ego believing, your subconscious generating the thoughts or words of people who project lower vibrational thoughts into you, right? Thoughts of doubt, thoughts of lack, thoughts of fear, thoughts of worry, thoughts of scarcity, anxiety, depression, right? To keep you in this cycle of familiarity, no matter how uncomfortable it is. It's what your egoic mind and egoic self knows, so that's where it's trying to keep you. So when you're attached to reflections of yourself that are not reflecting your highest self, Spirit is encouraging you in those moments to look within yourself, right? When you know you're being called to step into different, elevate in some way, away from or out of a situation, a relationship, a friendship, a family ship, whatever it might be for you, right? A work situation, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is you're being called to step out of and away from. When you find yourself attached to these things and you continuously find yourself in this cycle, and this, I feel this conversation is for those people who are conscious of wanting to shift, conscious of the spirit calling you to shift, and you feel the shift, you feel the transformation, but you also feel those past energies tugging on you, pulling on you energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, shit, financially, maybe, I don't know, habitually, cyclically, right? You might find yourself in the energy of like trying to move, trying to better yourself, trying to grow, and then falling back into past cycles or into past relationships and situations that, you know, just probably aren't the best for you. And you know this because your shadow aspect is pulling on you, is pulling on your ego to feel safe, to feel secure. It is our job to look within and allow your egoic self to know, hey friend, one, I'm in the front seat, you're in the back, get in the back, you're in the car, shut it up, I'm gonna drive us to better, to more, to evolve, to elevated. Because this was cool when it was cool. This situation, this relationship, this experience, when it was serving you, it was serving you. Now that it's not, you're being called to go somewhere else, and your ego is still sitting in that. And it is doing so by holding on to, attaching to certain reflections, certain people, certain energies in your life that are keeping you in your lower vibrational shadow aspects in mind. Do you feel me? On the other side of that, you jump into being reflected the good in yourself, right? And I feel like this is like a slippery slope, because it's one thing to be reflected the higher versions of yourself, the light aspects of yourself, right? And enjoy that. I think it's a very thin line in recognizing when someone else is trying to mirror those aspects of you on purpose to get in where they fit in. This is not where I thought this was gonna go. Okay, Spirit. Caught on. But yeah, right? So like, we have our own reflections, we have our mirrors, and how we feel around people is what keeps us 11 on my time, is what keeps us in communication and connection with those people, right? If someone makes you feel good or reflects the lighter aspects of yourself, the funner aspects, the freer aspects, the more authentic aspects of yourself, you're going to lean closer into those people, right? Just naturally, because you like who you present as when you're with this person, right? Especially if you do have energies around you that you are more in your lower vibrational shadow self, right? Then coming around somebody who allows you the energy to be more free and authentic as a reflection, that, you know, obviously that contrast, and you're like, I want to lean into this more. Is assuming you're not the one who's like, oh, I see healthy, I'm gonna right, we're not talking to those people. We're not talking to those people right now. I'm talking specifically to the people who are trying to lean more into the who's that feel good, the what that feels good, what feels like honey, what feels like magic. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what we're leaning into, and that's what we're being called to shift and transition into at this point in our lives, right? This literally, I feel like the shift and transition that's occurring on a collective level is very much so us shifting out of the lower vibrational aspects of self into the higher vibrational aspects of self. And to do so, you have to release those people and energies in your life that reflected those shadow aspects of you, which is why I'm on here right now, because that's what we're discussing. But then on the flip side, when you go into, you know, leaning into people who reflect that lighter side of yourself, you have to be cautious, you have to be intuitive and discerning, right? 1313 on my timers, I'm saying this. You have to be intuitive and discerning to know if and when someone is reflecting genuinely, right? Because there are people who will notice your light, notice your authenticity, notice the energy that radiates to and through you, that blessedness that just rolls off of your spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, people can recognize this and try to intentionally mirror the things that they feel you want to see, so that they can gain off of your light, off of your authenticity. And I'm saying this from personal experience, right? Which is why, excuse me, confirmation, which is why Spirit got me up in here talking about this, because I did not expect this to go where we are right now. But I do feel it is very important, especially if you are new on your spiritual journey and you are just stepping out of the shadow aspects of yourself, just stepping into this new elevated version of yourself for the first time. Recognize like how you're presenting yourself to the world. They can see that light within you, even if you don't see how fully and strongly you show up as a pillar of light in this world, right? Other people can. And if you're not careful, if you're not conscious, if you're not discerning right, you can definitely fall into the trap of people trying to mirror and reflect what it is that they feel you want to see or feel from them so that they can gain access to you. So just be mindful of that. However, that's not everybody's case. Not everybody is out here being a con artist and a scammer, okay? Like, it's just the truth. There are still amazingly genuine and authentic people in the world, and you know that because you're here right now talking to me, and you are one. We are those authentic people, and I can say that with the utmost confidence because you would not be here right now. You could not hear my voice right now if you were not an authentic and genuine person shining your light in this world, right? And if you're not doing that at this moment, that's what you're called to do, and that's why you found this video. So with that being said, start to lean into the reflections and the mirrors that reflect and illuminate aspects of yourself that you want to see more of, right? Aspects of yourself that you enjoy, aspects of yourself that allow you to feel more free, more authentic. I heard the word vulnerable. So maybe you have to be more vulnerable in allowing yourself to be authentic and allowing yourself to be free, to attract, to magnetize toward the energies and the people that are actually here to reflect those energies back to you and help you become the reflection it is that you are destined to be in this world, right? So at the end of the day, we are all just reflections of the Most High. Well, I'm not gonna say all of us, but the ones on the path are all just reflections of the Most High, right? And our job is to come here and be that reflection, be that mirror of the Most High for other people so that they can begin to become that reflection for themselves. That is the entire journey. If we are mirrors of the Most High, when we face other people, we mirror different aspects of them to themselves, right? Regardless of, you're not doing it intentionally, but just like in the natural order of things, we are connected and aligned with people because of what it is. We connect or resonate in some way, whether that's shadow aspect or light aspect. And so Spirit is just starting to really encourage us to use that discernment, use your intuition, use your inner knowing, right? Use your inner compass to navigate if the people and the energies around you are reflecting shadows or reflecting light, and then move accordingly. Are you going to be the person who runs from the reflections that are trying to, or they're not even trying, are you going to be the person who runs from the reflections that are mirroring the best aspects of yourself because you're scared of yourself, you're scared of your success, you're scared of your abundance, you're scared of your prosperity, you're scared of how your greatness, hello? Or are you going to be the person who opens up to those reflections, to those mirrors, so that you can then begin to reflect more brightly, more openly, more vulnerably, reflect the Most High in the way that we were supposed to come here and do. If you're on this video right now, I know for a fact that you're supposed to be here reflecting the Most High's light back into this world. So tap in. Tap in. Do not allow your ego to be in the driver's seat. Do not allow your ego to keep you connecting to energies and people and places and experiences and cycles, habits that are keeping you in your shadow aspect, that are keeping you from being the best, highest, greatest reflection of the Most High that you possibly can be. You were destined and written here to be just that. You gonna let your ego stop you? You gonna let fear stop you? You gonna let doubt stop you? You gonna let worry stop you? You gonna let people who don't have the same reflection as you stop you? 1919 on my timer. I don't think so. We're not doing that. That has been the message. If you like this video, share it with somebody you love. Thank you so much for tuning in and tapping in with me. And until next time, stay divine. Peace.